Okay, before going ahead with today's session, the last session what we discussed the new logic, what Bagheera just suggested. We have done with this. Let me show you how we have done this. Okay. The same input file we have taken, bolts and the runs.
Venkat, I'm not able to see your screen.
Oh, sorry. Let me show you. Can you able to see now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The same input file we have taken with the bolts and the runs. We got volts and runs. In the last session we have shown with the modulus operator. Now as we discussed last time, volts with a 0 and threshold with 6. This is what the new logic what we have written. Volts we have taken with a 0 and threshold, the maximum threshold is S6.
Okay.
So every time it comes, it will be checking in the key change. Volts is equivalent to the threshold or not. And therefore it will be incremented the volts in the rollup, whatever we are doing the summarization. And once the volts is equivalent to the threshold, we are calling the finalize function. So once we call the finalize function, again the balls should be made to the 0. So that is why we have made the balls to the 0. On threshold always it will be 6. Is it clear?
Yeah.
You Ravali, is it clear?
Yes, Venkat.
Okay. Okay, today we will start with scan components. Okay. What it will do is, for every input record, the scan generates an output record that consists of the running cumulative summaries for each of the group that the input record belongs to. So whatever the group we are sending the records, for each of the group, it generates a cumulative summary records. So for every input record, it generates an output record. So for every input record, scan generates an output record that consists of the running cumulative summaries for the group to which the input record belongs to. So let's take a small example. How does it works? The scan. And what are the functions we have seen in the rollup? The same functions will be available in the scan also. Only the difference is in place of the rollup function, we will be replacing with the scan. So if you have the data like this, invoice amount, let's check it 500. See, okay, let's take it for three of the customers. We have taken three statements, dates, bills, and the invoice amount. So now we have to find out, like, for each of the customer, so for whatever the payment he has made, we have to find out for every month. So let's take it like C9021 customer. For January bill he made 500 as the invoice amount, and coming to this February bill, so for what is the invoice amount he made, and coming to the March, so for what is the invoice amount he made. That is how we have to find out. So the output should be in the format of customer ID, statement date, invoice amount, and cumulative invoice amount. Okay. Invoice amount is 500, and the cumulative also will be the 500, Again, the next record comes C2410, statement date 01/01/2015, invoice amount is 300, and the cumulative invoice for this customer is also 300. C5320 01/01/2015, 800. Cumulative will be 800. And the next customer C2410, statement date is February, and the invoice amount is 600, and the cumulative so far is 900. Invoice is 300, and the cumulative will be 800. 5320 01/02/15, 400, 400. Again, C9021, statement date is 01/2015, 800, 600. 2410 01/03/2015, 600, 1500, 5320, 400, 1600. So this is what the output we require. This will be the input, and this is how the output should be. So for every statement date, what is the cumulative invoice amount that got generated for each of the customers? So let me tell you what all the functions we can utilize. The scan component is equivalent to the rollup component. For the rollup, we are going to use for the aggregations or the summarization. So for each of the record, only the one record will be the output. But for the scan, how many records you send it, those many records will be the output once the input select has been satisfied. So, and here also we have two types of the modes, template mode and the expanded mode. So what are the functions we will be using? Input select, tag declaration, initialization, scan, finalize, output select, and key change function. Okay, so let's check it. The key, we'll go with the key parameter. Key is a customer ID. So can you give it a try how each of the functions will be called to get this output? Instead of rollup, we just have the scan function, and all the functions are equivalent. So Now we are not utilizing the key change, but I just listed out what all the functions can be utilized in this. So we are using a key specifier, that is a key function, key parameter as a customer ID. So input select and output select, type declaration, initialize, scan and finalize are there. So can anyone give a trial how the each of function will get called to get this output? I just want the each of the function how it will be called, when it will be called. I don't want the logic. Bhagiraj or Ravali?
Um, 1 second.
Yeah.
You can get.
You said the order in which these functions are going to execute, right?
Yes, yes.
Is it first initialization and type declaration and initialization first,
Okay.
and then we'll have scan where we'll have all these calculations to calculate the cumulative sum and all those.
Okay. So you want the output data visible or the functions to be visible in the screen?
Um, I don't know.
No, based on the output data,
What
you
can get
want
it?
to see say the functions or how it should be, as per your comfort.
I would prefer to see the functions.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Declaration, initialization, scan has
So
been executed.
then when we have all the cumulative function, cumulative sum and all, then we'll finalize the sum.
Okay.
Uh, I can get only until that.
Pardon?
I said I can get only until that.
Okay. After the finalize again, which function will be called?
Output select we will call this after the scan or after the finalize. I'm not
No,
sure.
that will be the lost function, output select. For each of the record, that will be the lost function. Once we process and the cumulative summaries, we can filter out.
And once we finalize the summaries, then we'll have output select. Is it right?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that completes the first record. Again, second record.
Again, it will go to scan
Mm, why scan?
because we have already declared the whatever variables we wanted, right?
Okay,
Is it?
but
Uh,
customer ID is different, right?
yeah.
No, I get for the
Yeah.
second. First, it will do the sorting, right? Actually, it has
Sorting.
to do sorting.
No, we can send it right unsorted out also, because we have sorted input parameter as input must be sorted or in memory. So we will select
Yeah.
in memory.
In that case, yeah. In that case, also it will group based on the customer ID, right?
Yes, the grouping will
And
happen
then
on the
that group.
customer ID basis. but the data as
Yeah,
has in the input the same row, the same records will be coming to the component, right?
You meant in the same order?
Yeah, that is why we are defining the sorted input parameter, right? Input must be sorted or in memory, because even though we send unsorted data and we are expecting the data will come in sorted order, then we can select sorted input as input must be sorted only. Yeah, first record that flow is correct, and for second record,
no idea, Venkat. Actually, I'm under the impression like if you give a group this based on key means for that key related data will come first like that.
yeah, whatever you said, if you wanted to do that, we have to use either the input file must be already in the sorted order based on this customer ID, or else we have to use a sort component and then put it in the sorted input parameters. Input must be sorted in the scan component.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In that case, whatever the group records that will come first or means based on which key you have done grouping.
Okay, yeah, let's say like we are getting the sorted data only. So how the flow goes now?
Okay, then second record will come for the second, based on customer ID. Okay, it will go for the scan.
Okay,
Okay, it will do the operations and based, all the, up to the customer ID change, it will go for the scan only.
okay, so, okay. Let's discuss three records we have coming to each group. The same data, which is in sorted order according to the customer ID.
Okay.
So first record completed, second
Okay.
record comes with the same group. So you said that directly
Okay.
control will comes to the scan component, scan function, right?
Yeah, you
Okay.
have done declaration and initialization, so
Pardon?
it will go for the scan. Sorry, after scan it will go for the finalize, and the second record will come. Second record will go for the scan, and it will come to finalize.
Okay.
Okay, means it is operation will done by record by record. So third record will come, it will go for scan, and it will come to finalize. When
Okay.
customer ID change, it will go for the initialization, and it will come to scan, and it will come to finalize. Okay, got it. And when the second record come for the second customer ID, it will go for the scan and finalize likewise.
Yes, absolutely right. When the data is in the sorted order, but when the data is in unsorted order, as Ravali said, the first order it will be same. So the first record comes if we have defined an input select, the control comes to the input select and executes the logic here. Once the condition has been satisfied, then the declaration and initialization gets executed. All the variables will be initialized, then scan will get executed, and here we will calculate the cumulative summaries, and the record will be returned to the finalize. The finalize will return the record to the output port, and the output select, if you have written this function, will decide whether the record has to be flown out of the output port or it has to filter out. So, and these two functions are optional, input select and output select. So then the next input record read. So the next input record is C2410, which is a new group than the one which we processed earlier, that is C9021. So C2410 is again a new group, so input select will be read. Then it checks in the in memory that does this group has been already initialized or not. No. So declaration and initialization get executed, scan, finalize, output select. Then again the next input record, third input record read by the input select. This is also a different C5320. Then declaration, initialization, scan, finalize, output select. All these functions will get executed. Then the next input record, fourth input record will be read. So now the fourth input record is C2410 with 600 invoice amount. So already that function, that group has been declared and initialized. So after the input select, directly the scan will be executed, and here we will be calculating the cumulative summaries, and then finalize, output select, then input select. So From now, already all the groups has been declared and initialized, so only the scan, finalize and output select after the input select will get executed. No declaration and initialization will get executed. Is it clear?
Venkat, but how it will decide whether it is already existing or not? Will it store it somewhere in memory or?
Yes, yeah. So once the new group
But
comes, it will check in the memory. Does this group has already been declared and initialized or not? If not, then only it will
okay,
go.
yeah, Venkat. For example, I have declared one variable like cumulative sum. Okay.
Okay.
Initially, I have given I will assign that to 0.
Okay.
Initialization. Whenever the first record comes,
Okay.
okay, the temporary record will update it with that value, whatever. For example, 200.
Okay.
It will load. It has loaded. Okay, and operation has done, and output will comes out. Second record comes. Second record is of different group. Okay,
Yes.
it came under as you said initialization. Again, it will go for the initialization, right?
Yes.
So it will be 0 initially.
So
Again,
you
scan
need
comes.
to say
Some number
it
will
will
assign
use
to
a
that
same
file.
variable. Let me show
Sorry.
the code. You will get clarified. I got your doubt.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we are going for two examples. One with the sorted data sending to the scan component. One with unsorted data. Then after that, output will be sorted and sent to the output file. Let's show you the code. So let me take this unsorted data one. What is the key? Customer ID.
Yeah.
Okay. You have 28 records. Let me sort on. Okay, not required. Okay. So once the first record comes, it is a new group. So declaration and initialization gets executed. And when the control comes to the scan, the value it has is 0 plus in dot payment amount 850. So it will be assigned to output. Then the control comes to the finalize with the temporary type, whatever the values we have, and then initialize. So whatever we have the temporary type so far, it is 850 is assigning to the running payment amount.
Okay.
And the second input record comes again the different group. So again declaration and initialization get executed. But in the in memory, for each of the group, it will be holding the cumulative summaries. So far we have been executed. And every time whatever the value we have, it will be incremented with that previous value. So now the
Okay.
group is 1841 with 850. The in-memory table will hold in such a way like 1841, 850 and 2829 Shravan with 500 and 5957 Kamal with 350 and Kalpana J. Like that each group it will hold the previous amount values. You may be seeing only one variable, but in-memory table will hold in such a way.
Okay. Means Venkat, it is not overriding the variable, right? It
Whenever
is
the
picking up separate variables.
Yeah, whenever there is a group different, then it will add one record in the in-memory table.
Okay. But is it not a performance impact if you can go for different
It is
groups
giving
for each
performance actually
members?
to say, because if it does not hold in such a way, we have to declare a variables how many we want it, how many groups we have it, those many variables we want to
Okay.
create. And can we identify the groups that dynamically? No.
No, no, okay.
Otherwise, we have to write a function or whatever the internally this logic is operating. We have to write the code in such a way to manage it.
Okay. Mhm.
Let me run this graph. And here also customer ID basis only. The sort is happening on customer ID and payment date. Same thing. The result should come same way. Okay, so 28 records we have it. All the 28 records are flowing to the output files. So we are sorting the data on the customer ID basis. In the first flow, once the input record file comes and does a sorting by the sort component, and these records in the same flow will be sending to the scan component. So that is the reason 001, 0102, 0103, 0104 order. And payment amount is 1250. So the first amount will be 1250 and the second record will be 1250 plus 285041 plus 950 5050 plus 850 59. Then when the new record comes, new group, then automatically it will be reinitialized with 0. And the output will be same, whatever the flow we will be using it, whether it's a sorted or unsorted. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay. And the next component we have is scan with rollup.
Venkat, one question.
Yeah, correct.
So when using we are using scan, it's better to sort the data before, right?
It's not like that. It depends on the data, how much we have it. If it's a huge data, yes, better we sort and send the reports. Otherwise, in memory also we can go. It's not required every time we use a sort.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And this component we don't have in this version 1.1. We have it in from 3.1. But I will tell you theoretically how does it works.
And Venkat, one more thing.
Yeah, yeah.
That thing we have done for normalization, total sum of for the group of records for each record.
For each, yeah, yeah.
We can do this implementation in scan as well, right? Using for loop.
That is vectors, right? You have to first normalize and then we can send it.
No, no, we have used one for loop, right, in the normalization to get the total sum.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that same for loop we can use in scan to get the total sum by using group ID based on each group.
Cumulative summaries or you want a total summaries?
Total sum, total sum.
Yeah, we can do it. Again, the same logic we have to write in the scan, the for
Yeah,
loop.
that's what it is. Yeah, okay.
Okay, this is how the component looks like with one input port, reject error on log ports, and output and rollup port. So if you have a requirement to find out both the rollup records and the scan cumulative records, then instead of using two components with the scan and the rollup individual components, we can use one component with scan with rollup component. So whatever the functions we have it in the scan, the same functions can be utilized. Okay, so along with this, whenever we are going to utilize these functions within this scan with rollup component, this scan with rollup component is exactly equivalent to the scan component, and the rollup port is an optional port. If you wanted, we can utilize, else we can ignore that. But if you wanted to utilize this rollup port, we have to define another two more functions. That will be rollup underscore finalize, and then rollup underscore select. So the rollup select will be equivalent to the output select, as we have already the function output select which is being utilized for the scan. So we are using a rollup underscore select function which is equivalent to the output select, and rollup underscore finalize. So we already have the finalize. So to work the finalize function for the rollup port, we are utilizing a rollup underscore finalize function. So whatever the logics we have written so far in the rollup component and the scan component, we can utilize the same logic. It will be working for us to give both the scan and the rollup. The scan records will come in the output port, and the rollup records, that is a group records or the summarized records, will come from the rollup port. And these two are the optionals. So in this case, the last two functions are optional, input select and output select, and the key change are also optional. Is it clear?
Yeah, Venkat.
Okay. And we have another component called multi-reformat.
Venkat, one question.
Yeah.
For the scanf will roll up, it will within the scan function only it will do both the cumulative sum and the summary, total summary. Is it the case?
No, scan will do only cumulative summaries.
Then how roll up will cover here?
How?
I mean, the total summary how we can get for the roll up finalize.
So whatever the record that is being written by the scan for the last
Hmm.
record of each of the group, does it containing the
Okay.
total summary or not?
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So
For
that
that
record
one
will
record
be
only.
getting to the rollup finalize.
Okay, fine, fine.
Because in the finalize we are not calculating any records or summarizations or the cumulative records, right? It just returns the record to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
port. So the last record particular to each of the group will be returning to the
Okay.
finalize.
And
And if you have a requirement to filter the summarized records, then rollup select can be utilized.
okay. Okay.
Okay. This component also we don't have in this old version, multi-reformat. Okay, these are the ports we will be having in the multi-reformat. So can anyone tell what are the parameters we will be having in the reformat?
I think like join we will get
Pardon?
like join records, join parameters.
No, no, reformat parameters.
Yeah, that's what count, select, transform. These are there. So it will be like select 0, select 1.
No, in the reformat we have only select because it contains only one input port.
Yeah. Okay, you are asking for reformat, right?
Yeah, yeah.
For multi-reformat.
No, 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 no.
Okay, reformat we have. Yeah, we have reformat, count, and select or transform and output indexes.
Yes. So totally 5 parameters in the reformat. Count, select, transform, output index, and output indexes. So, and by default, the value of the count in the reformat will be 1. So, if you make it the count as 2, what will happen? 4 ports,
Two output records will
but
come.
one parameter is dependent on the count. That is reject error. Sorry, 3 ports and 1 parameter. Reject error and out ports and transform parameter. So like this, transform 0 and transform 1 will get appeared whenever you make a count as 2. And this is all in the reformat. And coming to the multi-reformat, we will be having count and then a transform parameter. We don't be having a select, output index and indexes. And the parameters how it will be executed is also in the reformat. Select will get executed, then either of output index and indexes will get executed, and whatever the value it get returned, the port number, based on that the transform parameters will get executed and returns the record to the output port. But coming to the multi reformat, for the count as 2, here we will be having transform 0 and transform 1. And these transformations in the reformat, how we are calling, for each input record in the normal reformat, we will be having only one input port. So the record has to be read from that input port. So for each input record depends on the port numbers written by the output index or indexes, the transforms will be called. But coming to the multi-reformat, all the records will be processed from the in0. Then all the records we will read from the in1 and executes the transform 1 and sends the record to the output port. So I have a confusion whether I need to use a reformat or multi-reformat. So if your requirement is having only one file and do a transformation and get it done, then reformat. And you have one file and you want to decide whether the record has to goes to which output port, still reformat with output index. And you have a single file and you have to decide which record has to go with multiple output ports as reformat with output indexes. You have multiple files, you just have to do the transformation, no redirection of the records, input records to the output ports, just you have to do the transformation. Then you have to use multi-reformat instead of using multiple reformat components with count as one and just doing the transformation on the transform 0. Instead of doing that, it can be only replaced with this scenario: multiple input files and just doing the transformation without any select classes, nothing. All the record it is coming, just do the transformation and send it to the another component or the output file, whatever it may be. In such a case, if you have a requirement, then only you have to use multi-reformat, because here we don't have output index, indexes parameters, a select parameter to filter the records. Is it clear? Hello.
Mm. Yeah, Venkat, can you please repeat also?
Which one?
Multi-reformat. Multi-reformat function.
So when to use?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you have a single file and if you just wanted to do a transformation, then also we have to use a reformat without defining any code in the output index, indexes and the select. The count will be
Yeah.
1, reject error, log port and one output port will be there. Still reformat. You have a single file and you want to redirect the record to the multiple output ports. Then
Okay.
also a reformat with output indexes to be defined. And if you want to filter any of the records, still a reformat with the select class to be defined.
Yeah.
And if you have multiple input files, just you have to do the transformation, no filtration, no redirection of the input records to the output ports. Just you have a multiple input files and you are expecting to be transformed. Instead of multiple input files, I can say that multiple flows, whether it's a file or a table or within the graph, multiple flows. So if you have a data coming from the multiple flows expecting only transform to be executed, then instead of using two reformat components within the graph, a multi-reformat can be utilized. Is it clear?
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Means data is coming from two different inputs, right?
Yeah.
So data is of different fields.
Yes.
Both are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you use count one here,
No, no, count will not
then
be
there's
one
only one turn. Always count should be two.
by default because it's a multi-reformat, right?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So for each transform, yeah. Okay. Fine. Fine. Got it. Got it.
Okay, so we will be having transform 0 and
Yeah.
transform 1. Transform 0 will be connected to in 0, sending the records to out 0. Transform 1 will be connected to in 1 with out 1. Similarly, we have reject and error ports.
Yeah.
Clear?
Yeah. Venkat.
Okay. You, Ravali?
Yeah, I'm good, Venkat.
Okay. So we will stop it here for today, and tomorrow we will take the new topic.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Venkat, one question.
Yeah,
Hello. Venkat, what is this Abinitio BI tools means?
what is that?
Abinitio BI tools, business intelligence tools.
With respect to Abinitio,
Yeah, yeah.
we have different tools within the Abinitio, but I didn't heard a word like Abinitio BI because we have like ACE, BRE tools. We have it Express IT,
Mm-hmm.
maybe
So what are
one
those Express ID
Express
means?
ID again
What are those?
integration tool with respect to ACE and BRE. Here we require only one license, which can be accommodated with both ACE and BRE.
Okay. So means functionality, everything is same as these. Means they're also using these components or something to
No,
build
no,
up
no, no.
graphs,
That is
right?
completely different. That
Mm-hmm.
ACE and BRE is completely different. So the ACE can be utilized to generate the presets, and BRE can be utilized to generate the transformations. And that is not
Okay.
meant for us actually for the developers. I mean to BRE.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
we are into technical, so we can write the logic within the transformation, but a business people cannot write it more in technical. So for them, it will be more utilized the BRE.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Clear?
Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Tomorrow we will see it. The new topic. Thank you.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.